Hi, I'm Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffett, and I love J. Ross TV.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy J. Ross hanging out in St. Louis with the man himself, drummer extraordinaire. We just gonna call him Sugarfoot, and y'all know why. Now, y'all know him from all kind of iterations, but you know everybody associate him with the Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. But he's in St. Louis tonight with Cameo, and I want to thank him for giving us a little time, y'all, because he don't have much, so we're gonna get this in and out. So, Jay, I just wanted to know, man, like growing up in New Orleans, you know, you a man of faith. Now, you accepted God at an early age. Did that affect the way you approach your drumming?
It affects the way I approach my life.
Right.
First of all, in everything I do, in my regard for right and wrong, for justice, for peace, for love, and my love for God, my love for Jesus Christ. I felt it when I was very, very early. I felt the connection. It's almost like the umbilical cord to heaven, to God, never got cut, like it does on the earthly plane. So I've always felt the presence and the reality of it. So I live my life accordingly. So when it transferred over to my drumming, you know, I know that the gift doesn't come from me, it comes from God. Because no man is strong enough or powerful enough to anoint himself. So I know that there's anointment from God and from heaven. And the blessing that I'm entrusted to take care of and nurture and do something with it and move the rest of the world. So I knew that from a very early age. I identified with it, and I practiced and I worked myself up to be able to speak my language in drumming. And that affects people's souls and their minds and their spirits when I play. And it's almost like a power. It is a power. I can hit my drums and play my drums like I play Billie Jean. And I don't care if you're on the other side of the stadium. You're gonna move your head, you're gonna jerk your neck, you're gonna pat your foot, you're gonna move your body, you wanna dance, you know. That's a power given from God that certain people have that, you know. Aretha, we just lost her, and she had that. Every time she opened her mouth to sing, she was different, she had a deeper soul. I also call it depth of soul. And I feel like myself and Michael Jackson was granted and blessed with a further depth of soul than most people. You can reach the core of the spirituality of things and of God, spirituality of God. So I've been enjoying it, this ride, for 39 years professional. Been playing since I was 6 years old. Playing in nightclubs, making money at 10 years old as a living. So you got to know it's this divine divinity. So at that early young age, so I identify with God and Jesus Christ, and I identify with the gifts that they blessed me with, and I cherish them, and I'm still trying to use them to the fullest.
Yeah. So growing up, was it like anything in particular that you can reference to that helped you with your drumming skills? I mean, anything that you practice or music that you listen to that can help someone, you know, that's back or now where you were then?
Many things that become focused on whatever you try to do, drumming, you know, any other kind of instrument, anything you want to do with your work or whatever. The best attorneys and the best accountants and the best people in business focused on their life in those aspects of what they aspire to do. They put in the time, the work, the schooling, and the effort to focus the concentration whenever they study to become better, to make the better money, to have a better living. I did the same thing with drumming, you know, not with no promise, no guarantee. I felt it was real. I felt I could do it. I felt I can be here. It was a reality in my mind, in my heart and spirit, but not a reality yet in the world, the real world in life. So I aspire to acquire and do these things and establish and leave my legacy and leave a legacy from young. I thought like this. So I've always aspired and worked hard. I practiced every day for many, many hours, and I focused when I did practice. I focused really, really intently, blocked everything else out. It was only on that beat I was working on at the time, and keep precision and focus and concentration and effort towards making my physical body do what I wanted to do, my mental, my brain, and my heart, my spirit. I always said, this is my body, I control it. It's going to do what I want it to do. So I spent time and focus making my limbs manipulate and do this portion of the beat, do that portion of the beat, do the leg, flip that leg, this leg. I took very deep focus to command control over that. And I dedicated myself to being able to do it because I felt I could if I tried hard enough. So every young kid, every person should try to identify with that. You got to find your love and your passion, because that's what you're going to excel at. That's what you're going to be great at. That's what you're going to be successful at. Find your love and your passion. Apply yourself that way, with that mentality and that work ethic, and I believe that you can make things happen and fulfill your dream, your destiny.
So Jonathan, with all that, did you feel like, did you sacrifice a lot, you know, as far as like football with your friends and baseball, basketball, or going to the movies, you focused on your drums?
Yeah, it was worth it. I focused on my drums, my love, and my art. I'm a graphic artist. I draw and design. So those are the two passions, the great passions I had. I love football. I really did. I excelled at speed and running and catching the ball. Coaches in school wanted me to play football. But I knew that if I broke this little pinky finger, I couldn't control that stick right. And either one of them, on my foot or my toe. So I had to make a decision, and I decided drums were safer. I can hit the drums all I want, hard as I want. They don't hit me back. And they don't crush me like a football player would. So I thought it was the best option of the two. I would love football. I never applied myself to basketball. My passion in sports was football. But there was a lot of things. I never learned how to swim. I never learned how to do a lot of things, and most children in my neighborhood did, because they went out and did those while I was over in the room in my mother's house practicing my drums to be where I am today. So yeah, then everything in life, there's sacrifices, there's gives and takes. So you got to decide what's most important to you. All those things are important to a portion of that little boy, but the greater important thing of being drumming and music itself and what it does with the spirituality was the greatest of importance in my life, and I felt it deeper and greater than anything, all those other things. So that's why I applied my life and my time.
The last two questions. Where do your creativity come from? What do you think about? Do you see colors or abstract views in your mind as you play?
No, I feel like it's like a radio station in the air we can't see. There's things around us that we're not privy to see because of the limitations of mankind's prowess, so to speak. I tap into another place, and I hear rhythms all the time. I can't shut it off. It's all day long, every day, all day long. In the shower, while I'm getting dressed, while I'm driving, rhythms happen, bass lines happen, melodies happen, vocal lines happen. It's a constant radio station that never turns off, and certain patterns and certain beats have greater sensitivity to me. I've always worked on and practice channeling my spirit, opening it up to be open to that signal that's coming in. So I am at sound check. All the guys will pull out their phones and recording my impromptu beats. I come up with some really funky stuff that's off the top of my mind, so to speak, and I just start playing. I don't even think about it 5 seconds beforehand. I just start hitting the drums, and I feel it at the moment I get ready to execute it, and it comes out, and they want to write a song to it. So it's about, I practice being spontaneous. When I play my drums, I want it to flow like water, and if I did a drum solo, I want it to flow like water. You turn the tap on, the faucet on. You don't see the drops, you see the stream of information. I want it to be like that. I wanted them to be able to call a drum solo in the middle of a ballad, and I can drum solo in the middle of a ballad. I used to practice that. I wanted to be able to, at beck and call, at will, play anything I wanted to be able to play. So I worked on those things, and tolerance, and endurance, and stamina, all those aspects. So the drummer's never supposed to get tired because the band is relying on them. The show is relying on them. I worked on those mentalities of professionalism. But my source of rhythm and my source of groove and, so to speak, funk, I just feel God can be funky because the beats that come from me comes from the source of the greater source, which is God. So yes, God is funky. He can be funky,
Yeah, see, that was
through my beats.
Yeah, that was gonna be my last question. Your belief in God and the way you carry yourself and you live by, how it intertwines with your musicality. You kind of just said it. Everything, or your whole source is God.
Yeah, because that's where the gifts come from. I can't anoint myself when I'm born, I don't have the ability to do that. So it had to be implanted, a seed implanted before I even arrived, before the birth process happened. So, and it was there, and it got nurtured, and the other part of the gift is to identify with it and realize this is my gift, this is what I want to do, this is my passion. Gifts are in everyone, every single one of you out there have a gift within you. The mistake is, and the problem is, that you skim past the gift and didn't realize, take time enough to recognize that it was your gift. And so you're so busy with everything in life and got distracted, and you didn't have the proper focus to find your gift, or you didn't apply yourself towards it, or you didn't research it much. Everybody has a passion, everybody is gifted and can excel at something. But a lot of people, and most people, skim past it and wind up doing something they hate the rest of their life and being dedicated because they financially strapped to it and they can't give it up, and they miss most of their life they could have had enjoying something they could do and excel at. So be aware, pay attention to every aspect of your inner being before you pay attention to the aspects of your outer being, because within you is your real world. The outside is what we manipulate through to exist on this plane of existence, But find out who you are on the inside and explore your capabilities. And I don't mean just try something once or twice. Apply yourself. If you feel something strong towards it, apply yourself. Really apply it. Don't give up at the first, second, third time. Once you get through the barrier of that learning process, you realize I can be good at this, and that's going to make you excited. That's going to make you want to excel more and do more and develop yourself. So pay attention to what's happening in your brain, in your heart, in your spirit, before you pay attention to what's happening around you. And you'll discover a new land, a new world greater than anything that's around you and outside, and you discover that really most important thing, yourself.
Man, that's words of wisdom, y'all. And we want to congratulate Jonathan on his impending nuptials. And so we're going to let him roll. Once again, y'all, we in St. Louis with drummer extraordinaire, Mr. Jonathan Moffett. We call him Sugarfoot, y'all. He's in town hitting with Cameo. And we're going to let him get ready to bounce, y'all. This your boy, J. Reed Ross. We 14 million strong, and we gone. Peace.
All right, be loved, for you are loved.